So last week we covered basic drafting, the accuracy, the alignment of entities, whether every single thing is snapped. Remember, if you want smart guide, is Control U. If you want to check the outline, is Control Y. If you want to lock your item, is Control 2. Unlock is Control Alternate 2. If you want to hide, is Control 3, and to unlock is to Control Alternate 3. Yeah, those are the basic shortcuts that we shared last week. So this week we are going to put into practice the drafting, the rendering into a simple geometric spanner. Download all the items and then bring into Illustrator. Once you bring in into Illustrator, what I would like you to do is to trace the object, but do not use pen all the way. If possible, use shapes. Shapes such as, let's say for example, if you want this so-called tail end of the spanner, what can you do? Can you use a rectangle and a circle? Let me just draw for you an example. Okay, can you do that? Okay, then after that, what do you need to do is to just Pathfinder boolean them up. In this manner, the curves are much cleaner. It's symmetrical. Okay, you will avoid having all the kinks at the side. Okay, I will leave you to trace first. I'm going to share with you another tool. Last week we covered live corners. Live corners as in, if let's say for example you want to adjust the corners for this square, you can just pull it down, press Ctrl Y to check your outline again. You can see that the corners are actually live, meaning it's real, right? Okay, let's say for example if we undo, right now I want let's say for example a detail inside. I can just click the corner live of the live corner here, double click, it will give me a box here. I can just type the dimension. Let's say for example we want a 3. Okay, right now AI will give me 3 for all the corners. Control Y again to see. It's live. The same effect can be you can get the same effects, right? Using effects, stylize, and then you go to round corners, a 3 mm again. Preview. It's the same effects. However, if you press Ctrl Y, one of it is live, one of it is just an effect. So technically, let's say for example, if you finish drawing out, you go laser cut this thing out. This will give you a 3 mm radius. This will not give you a 3 mm radius because why? It's just an effect. It's not live yet. Live, sorry, the round corners effect, right, work for any path also. So I use the round corners to smooth out the edges of the spanner. So let's say for example this is my spanners, right? Okay, let me just go to effects, stylize, round corner, every single thing 3 mm. You can always go preview to check. Let's say for example this is a spanner head, and then you check that it's actually not affecting the actual line. What can you do is that after you after you decided with the dimension for the round corner, you need to go to object and then you need to expand appearance. Once that's done, you press Ctrl Y again to check. Now it's live. Okay, that's the difference. And the tool that I want to share with you. Let's say for example, if you would like to use our so-called smoothen out the edges using round corners. Okay, let me just delete this. Okay, I hope that you guys have already traced out the shapes and all. Take note of these corners here. Normally the arrows will come here, this portion here, and this portion here. So once that you trace out the shapes within the answer sheet or the cheat sheet given, detailed instructions are already note down. I already mentioned to you, let's say for example, as much as possible to use shapes instead of tracing. Take note of the control point when using pen tool, the lesser point, the cleaner curve. This is this is what we this is what you did last week with the Apple logo. So once that's done, what I need you to do is to throw in the colors. Okay, the gradient values are all inside here. Okay. You can take a look at my gradient. There's only two colors, which is the 10K and the 95K. Here itself, there's two also, which is the 10K, 95K. Let me just pull this out so you can see. This is also 10K, 95K. So what you can do is to get, let's say for example, let me just show you a quick run. Let's say for example you have a ready gradient, and then the rest are all following the same values. What you can do is just press I, and then I drop. From there, press G. You can adjust the gradient from here. Take note, press shift to lock it diagonally. Let's say for example, this portion here, should the shadow be here? No, right? Because why? The light always start from the top left hand corner. So what you can do is you rotate it. Okay. So the first step is done there already. You can follow what I shared with you. So the second step is to duplicate the object and duplicate the body and the head, and then apply effects feather. If you can remember the rectangle with the radius, is the same exercise. Okay, the feather is 3 mm. Let me just remove the. Okay, let me just reduce. Sorry, yeah. Let me just remove the feather that you can so that you are able to see. What I done right is just copy, Control C, Control F, okay, which is in front, right? And then what I done is that from here I just need a 50K, which is that, and then let me just delete this so that you can see. And then the feather, where do you get a feather? Go to Effects, Stylize Feather, and then 3 mm. Press preview to see. So once that's done, make sure it's at the top. Okay, lock it in place, then bring it inside. The same thing here. Go to Effects, Stylize, Feather 3 mm again, and then bring it on top. Okay, let me share with you another shortcut button. How do you bring it to the front or to the back in a faster manner? Most of you will always go to right click, arrange, bring to front, bring to back. There is the shortcut button here. Okay, so let's say for example, if you press Control Shift and right bracket, it will bring to the front. Control Shift and left bracket will send to the back. Notice the difference? So within that itself, right, you can work fast in Illustrator if you know the shortcut button. Let me just undo so that you can see. Okay, that's done. So once that's done, let's go to the step 3. Build your detailing, especially highlights and shadow. Okay, let me just remove this so that you can see. So what I have here, if you notice the drawing back again, this here, if I press G, right, there's the 10K and 95K again. That is most of the rendering are using the same value to achieve consistency. Okay. After I get this right, I need to offset path minus 1 mm. So how do I offset? I go to edit. Sorry, yeah. Let me just go to object, path, offset path minus 1 mm. You can always preview. Okay, once you preview it, right? So how do I get that other color here? Is that I just press this one, make sure it's 50K. That's it. And then you're done with step 3. Step 4. Okay, step 4 is slightly little bit complex, yeah, because why? You need to duplicate the shape and then shift uh, slightly to the bottom right to build the shadow. Select both shape and then pathfinder minus front and then multiply with a Gaussian blur. So what it asking you for, if I were to pull this out, is actually a shape with Gaussian blur. So how do I get that? How do I get that, right? Is that this original shape here, right? I just click, press alternate, drag it down slightly. These two these two object here, I need to go to my pathfinder. Let me find my pathfinder. I go minus it out. It's still a 50k, right? Multiply, change to multiply. Where's my transparency? Multiply. Let me find a 60% here. Gaussian blur 2 pixel. Where do I get it? Effects, stylize. Okay, hold on, yeah. Okay, you can go to blur, Gaussian blur. You can always add a 2 pixel from here. You can always bring it back. Let me just delete, or let me just pull the previous one out so that you can see. When you start to pull the thing back in, make sure it's snapped to the edges. Can? So let me just undo this thing, delete this one. So that is one of the part 4 here. The next one, which is here. How do you get this shape? This shape is from the body itself, and then I just draw a line from there, right? Let me just duplicate here so that you can see. I can always divide, ungroup, and then delete from the side. So once that's done, okay, what's the value here? Color value 0k, 100k. I can click this gradient. Make sure it's a radial gradient now. Okay, let me just pull this out so that you can see. Make sure this is 0k. The other one is 100k. Let's close. In order to get this right, you need to do some adjusting. Okay, you can drag, make it bigger. You can drag the shape to get it as close. Okay, once you get what you want, you just need to, let me just remove this out, change to multiply. You can just bring it back in. Okay, let's say for example, if it's too sharp looking, means that the gradient, the black, is too far out. What you need to do is to bring it to the corner here to here. So the first thing we need to do is to adjust the shape first. Let me just do it a quick one so that you can see. So then after that we start to adjust. Okay, you can always redraw again if you want, and then you can start dragging out the sides. What we want is to get this soft shadow here. Okay, let me just delete this, put this back inside. Okay, so we are done with step 4. Now step 5. Okay, what step 5 shows, right? When you are done with the top, technically you are quite done already. Okay, now we need to do the side view. So take reference from the top view here. So let's say for example, this here is a curve. Alright, you need to have a gradient here. In order to do that, we need to build up the body first. So the same thing, get the color, throw in the gradient. Here I already tell you what's my gradient level like. Okay, there is a few color tones inside here.